Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Mr. Pane bringing you function computations. This is an extra add-on to your notes. So I'd like you to just take this down on a piece of paper and bring it to class so that you are prepared and with questions and to do some practice. What we're talking about today is the notation of f of x again. So it reads, if f of x equals 2x plus 7 and g of x equals 3x minus 2, then find f of g of 6. So when we look at a notation written like this, I want you to think of, throwing a hand grenade. Okay. So if I have, let me just talk to you a little bit of an example here. If I have right here, and I'm going to color it in red. If my hand grenades lands right here, okay, and I have people, my people are going to be my x's. Those represent people, and then there's more people here, and then there's more people here. Who's the explosion going to affect first? That's what I want you to think. So if this is my hand grenade, I drop it right here. Who's going to be the first one to be affected? Well, this first row of x's will be affected. And then after that, it'll become this third row of x's, or the second row of x's, and then the third row. So it acts kind of like in a wave. It'll explode out, and it'll take care of these people first, and then it'll keep going, and then it'll take care of these people second, and then it'll keep going and take care of these people third. I want you to think of that when we have this f of x, or f of g of 6. The 6 is my hand grenade. So if I drop it right here on the 6, who's it going to explode first? It's going to take care of the G first, right? And then the second thing it's going to do is take care of the F. So the first thing we have to do is find out G of 6. So when I look over here, am I going to use the F rule or the G rule? Well, it tells me use the G rule first. So we're going to use the G rule first. So we're going to say G of 6 equals 3 times 6 minus 2. Notice that I took that 6 and I substituted it in for every place where I saw the x. So G of 6 is going to equal 18 minus 2. So G of 6 is going to equal 16. You are now going to use this information right here, all right, the 16, and that's what you're going to plug into my next rule. It says now to find, using G of 6, use to find f of x. So I'm going to say f of 16 equals 2 times 16 plus 7. 2 times 16 is 32. 32 plus 7 is 39. So f of 16 equals 39. And that is my final answer. For the next problem, and the last problem, I get you into a really hard one. So I figured I'd show you a nice simple one and then a more difficult one. It says, if f of x equals negative 3x, g of x equals the square root of 2x, and h of x equals the absolute value of 4x minus 12, find f of h of g of 18. So, once again, here is my hand grenade. It's going to be dropped right where the 18 is. What rule am I going to take care of first? G. What rule am I going to take care of second? H. And then the last rule I'm going to take care of is F. So you have to go in that order. G, H, F. Now, each problem is going to be a little different. You have to follow what the notation is giving you. But if you always drop the hand grenade here and think about who it's going to hit first, you'll never get these problems wrong. So I'm going to start with the G rule first. My G rule is right here. So let's write it out. G of 18 equals the square root of 2 times 18. G of 18 equals the square root of 36. And the square root of 36 equals, so G of 18 equals 6. Now I'm going to use that information that I just came up with, of that G of 18 equals 6, and I'm now going to place it into the H rule. So it says H of 6 equals the absolute value of 4 times 6 minus 12. 4 times 6 is 24, and the absolute value of 24 is 24 minus 12. So H of 6 equals 12. I'm going to use that information now, and I'm going to plug it into my F rule. F of 12 equals negative 3 times 12. F of 12 is going to equal negative 36. And that is my final answer. So once again, to reinforce, you drop the hand grenade here with 18. The first rule I did was G, which I did. I take that answer and I plug it into my second rule, which is H, which I did. And then I take that answer of 12 and I plug it in for the F rule, which gives me a final answer of negative 36.